Hey y'all, hey y'all. Let me wait a little bit until people are coming in. If you're coming in, wave, give some comments, say hi. I really would appreciate that. In the meantime, let me just put this to the side, make some space, make some room. Hey y'all, I'm just gonna jump in. Just gonna jump right in. How are you all doing? I hope that everybody's doing well, doing fine. Back with another live. And I just wanted to see when is the perfect time for me to do live. So it's a little bit of experimenting, a little bit of what looking what works, what doesn't work, and we just have to go along with it. Right, right. Just see what happens and see if it really is working for us. So hey y'all, how are you all doing? That I hope that everybody's doing fine. I hope that you all um, feel great, healthy, in a good state of mind. I think that is so important. I cannot stress that enough. I can't stress that enough. That you are all just, taking time to take care of yourself. Meaning, if you need to exercise, go and exercise. If you need to take a walk, go take a walk. If you need time by yourself, take that time by yourself. If you need some people around you, I hope that you have a good support system around you on who you can rely on, who you can talk to. That is so important. So, in my lives, those are like my impromptu 2 cents thoughts and other things that I would love to discuss with you, creative people and people that are affiliated to the art biz, the art thing. So that is basically the live to an impromptu live. I mean, how else I'm gonna say it? It's just impromptu for all the creative people, to the professionals that you would love to be. I know that is a hard thing to do. It is it hard? It's simple. It is simple. Just do what it is that you love to do and be great at it. It's simple, but is it hard? Yeah. There can be some obstacles, there can be some detours, some dents, some bumps. Sometimes she bruised something. So it's not the easiest path to choose. I think to be a creator is one of the hardest things that you can choose to be nowadays. But when you establish something for yourself, like a real fundament that you get to share with others and others get to support you into that whole process, into your journey, and also into your business, just pour into your business, not just with likes and comments and support and subscribers, but also actually, some coins and bills, both of them. I think when you get to that point, it is so worthwhile. It's so rewarding because you literally are part of a group that is not dictated by the outside world of what it needs to do. You are basically, literally, the creator of what it is that you do. And that is awesome because not to say that other people don't have that ability, not to say that other people don't have that ability to do what it is that they do and make their living from that, to create their platform there and be part of the community that they are in. But to be a creative is to constantly prove that your talent that you are developing for yourself, that your talent is valuable, worthwhile. An added value, it has a perceived value, it has just a great addition to the contemporary world. And that's the thing that I wanted to discuss actually in this live is, do you know your value? And I'm not talking about the amount that the pricing that you're putting to the painting, the sculpture, the photo, the whatever. the artwork, that art piece, that masterpiece that you're creating time and time over and over again. I'm not talking about that because that is easy to come to. Eventually, you will have to determine, and you can determine for yourself how you do that. I just had a live on Facebook. I created a group, by the way, Collectors Circle, and that group is specifically, or sometimes how people want to say specifically, but that group is specifically for people that are in the process of wanting to invest and collect art. And in that particular group, I invite people to come into that, get acquainted, and get information, more specific technical um, information when it comes to investing, collecting, and acquiring artwork. So that's the group that I've created. If you're interested in that, you can head over to my Facebook page, and there, one of those tabs, you can find live sessions because I do it live. I don't pre-record them. I do them live because I want to allow people the ability to also ask questions when they are seeing that live, and ask questions and give comments so I can react to that. So it has more of an interactive type of feel instead of saying, well, I'm going to pre record it like I do with most of my content on YouTube or other platforms. So that's why I do it live. And, also just giving the people the to remove that obstacle for people, to make it approachable, and also just to answer questions for people. People have a lot of questions. They want to know, they want to see, they want to have a look at it. And it's not always easy to go to someone and say, hey, I have a question. Can you answer this to me? Because, like explained over there, but you have to see the whole video. Just go and watch the video. People are not knowledgeable about everything. We like to believe that we are, but we are not always knowledgeable about the thing that we would like to know. And we don't want to come across as not knowledgeable, which, by the way, there's no shame in that. Ask away. They say there are no stupid questions. I do not agree totally with that. I just don't. But there are not questions that you should not ask. If this question is really that stupid, that person is going to tell you, like, how can you ask me that type of question? How can you do that? But in most cases, you should not you should not refrain from asking questions. The answer that you want is out there. Ask questions. So that's why I have that group, and people can be part of that. It's an open group. It is private in the sense that no one else can see who is part or a member of the group. So that in that way you have your own privacy. I get to see that I am the owner of the group. So I get to see that, but you are free to join in and also get the information from that. So if you're thinking about that, please join in the group. You can be part of that. I also wanted to do that because different platforms just require different types of info. That is something that I've now come to see, is that whew, what I'm expressing on Instagram and what I'm expressing on Facebook and what I'm expressing here on YouTube, it's not the same. I was sitting behind my laptop this morning, like I'm doing right now, and I'm looking at the social media program that I'm using to post my content, and it just appeared to me like I really have to do a better job. This is a note to myself, but maybe also a note for you all. I really have to do a better job when it comes to understanding who my audience is and what my audience needs. Because in a lot of cases, people are just bombarded with information. They scroll through it and they just, they might have a question, but they don't see the response or don't get the information in what they are getting. So just they scroll through it, they like it, scroll through it, they like it. It's fun to see. But being mindful of what I'm posting can allow someone to see the caption, can see the content and be like, hey, wait a minute, it has been on my mind, this. So let me dig a little bit deeper into that. But that's like whew, that's hard. That's hard, people, because you have to figure it out. But patience. Patience is key. It is key to have patience and allow people to get acquainted to who you are. And it's trial and error, just finding out where people are responding to what they respond to, and what they think is good for them to see. Because it's not about me just wanting to post something pretty and you have to like it. It actually has to lead to something. It does. It actually has to lead to something. So it's no use of posting something just because you need to be on social media. Nah, nah, not at all. But that's going to be a different. I think that's it could be a different life, and I would love to have your input on it as well. I've been talking for a while. The moment I start talking for a long time, it gets hard for me to pronounce the words. But bear with me. Anyway, if you feel that you would like to see more of that, like, hey, how do you do that? Can you give some pointers or tips of how to do the whole social media thing? And not to say that I'm an expert into that. I also need to learn. I also see things like, what the frick? I need to change that. I need to be more mindful of that. I think that's a good thing just to share those thoughts and to keep people up on their toes and accountable of what it is that you're posting, and not going for the easy way out. Because, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, um, but it's worth it. It's your content. You are putting it out. So it adds to the value that you have, which now brings me to the actual subject of this live. And that is, do you know your value? Well, do you? Do you know your value? Do you know how important it is to have a notion of what your value is as an artist? I For me, that the process started. What moment was that? When I had my second exhibition, and the paintings were hanging, and I had to make a list of pricing of my work, so that people would know, if they are in when they are interested, what the price of the painting would be. And the lady at that point in that gallery said, "Oh, don't price yourself." It was more the venue, the venue. She was the owner of the venue. Well, maybe it's not so wise to price yourself too high, because you don't want to scare people off. And I was looking at her, not in a strange way, but I was looking at her like, okay, okay. Are you telling me what to do? No, not that. But I was looking at her, and as I walked off, um, at that point, I was pretty moderate with the pricing. Now, I definitely, the pricing are a lot higher, as they should be. Um, but at that moment, I was pretty moderate, pretty, moderate with the pricing. Like she said, you don't want to scare anybody off. You're new. You're just starting. Don't scare people off with the pricing. You still want people to pay for the paintings. But here's the thing about pricing yourself at a moderate level, or even being humble about what that is. In my previous life, I talked about, do you know what that word means? You haven't looked it up yet? No? Okay, go look that word up. Humble. Go look it up. Yeah. I'm not going to explain it here because I want you to look it up. But anyway, humble in the pricing, um, and also not wanting to scare off the customers. Here's the thing about it: when you do not understand that you as an artist have a value, your artistry has a value. And again, I'm not just talking about the pricing that you put onto it. I'm talking about what you have that translates itself into the pricing. When you are not aware of that, you will always price yourself either, I wouldn't say ridiculously high, but this definitely, you will always price yourself too low. You will always price yourself too low. You will always put yourself on the level where you're like, okay, well, in this way, I can meet everybody's needs. Excuse me, that's my alarm. I can meet everybody's needs. I can meet everybody's standards. I'm not leaving anybody out. You might not want to do that. You might not want to do that. I'm not saying that you cannot do it. I'm just suggesting you might not want to do that. And here's the thing where I'm going towards. Your artistry, the thing that you produce, your art practice, is based on your ability to create something that is very unique to you and to the world. You have an ability to have a notion, have an idea, and to conceptualize that. Furthermore, to materialize that into something tangible. EI, a canvas, a sculpture, digital painting, a particular art surface, I don't know, fill in the blank, whatever applies to you. You can do that. That is very unique. That is a very intricate process. And because that process happens a lot inside, it's not as if I can, I'm pushing on a button and the machine starts to work and then, things comes, something comes out of it. It is not a mechanical nor a predominantly manual type of process. A lot of it is innately, is intrinsic. It happens within yourself, and it comes out in the craft that you have. It translates itself, it transmutes itself, it processes itself in the talent that you have. And in order for you to keep doing that, that creativity, so the ability to do that, to transmute the idea, to conceptualize it into the art practice that you have, it happens in here. That's the creative input. That is a very unique and a very delicate process that you cannot duplicate. You can't duplicate that. What I mean by that is someone else cannot look at you and duplicate that process that's in here and also in here, of course, but it's in here. No one can duplicate that. They can duplicate the work, happens all the time, but they cannot duplicate the creative process in here. That's a very, I almost would say it's the fundament. It's like the platform that builds everything that you build everything on and translates itself into the value that you ask. So, are you aware of that? Are you aware of the fact that that has an important factor in your pricing? It goes beyond material cost. It goes beyond the amount of paint that you had to use, the amount of hours that you're sitting to do something, the scarcity of a certain artwork that you're producing, or the fact that you can create that you have limited editions, or the name that you carry. Because these days, to be quite honest with you, yeah, it's nice if you have established a name. And to be on, yeah, okay, it helps. It definitely helps. We cannot argue about that, and I will not argue about that. I'm not that. Um, it's not about that. About arguing about what the name is. But the fact that you have something that cannot be created and is uniquely yours, that determines your artistry for a large part, and also your pricing. I don't think I was aware of that at that moment. That that determined largely the pricing, and I was more looking at, oh, what feels good, what feels good, What can I give? What feels good, right? Not offending someone else, but also what I can think of being acceptable. That brings me to the next part. A lot when you determine your pricing, it should not just be acceptable determined on the external factors. So having your audience, being able to sell it, to be able to sell a lot, to be able to sell on a consistent base. It should not be only based on that. Because if you're creating something that takes a good amount of time for you to do, and you are pricing yourself at a level that now forces you to make a lot of it, you got a problem. You got a big issue on your hands. A big issue. Because you're going to work yourself, to a point where you're like, oh my God, you're working yourself to a point of exhaustion. And that is not something that you want to do. So I'm going to say something that might be unpopular. It might be something that you're going to be like, what? No, I can't. I can't do that. You can think about it. It's a suggestion. You can think about it. Like I already said, this platform, I like to give my 2 cents. I share what I find disturbing, and also, I give it with a lot of, with some entertainment with it. So the thing that I would love for you to think about is you do actually want to scare off people. You do want to scare off people a little bit. You do. You do. Because one, the commitment that you bring into your work is something that you are depending on. The commitment, and because a lot of times we don't base this only on motivation. A lot of time for us is the discipline that we carry into it, the structure, the organization. There is a whole business around it. That's quite an investment on top of your creative input, your creative process. That's a whole investment that you're putting into it. So you do want to offer your product, you offer your artwork or your services to people that are willing and see and recognize and are also just paying that amount that you are setting to be valuable for your work. So you do want to scare people off. You do. You don't want to be in a place where you are um, negotiating about pricing, or people are asking you to, well, your colleague down the road is doing something for 500 euros less. I bet if I ask him to do something what you're creating, it can be duplicated. Well, go ahead, go. You don't want to be in a position where you constantly are being asked. Um, people are not asking, inquiring about what your decision about your price, but they are interviewing you about the decision about your price. You don't want to have that. Don't interview about the decision of the price. You don't want to have that. You definitely want to have one. You definitely want to have a procedure at work that allows you to work comfortably in your artistry, to work for the long term in your artistry, for as long as you consider it to be fun and a great thing to do. And you also want to do it in a healthy way so that you're not working yourself to the ground. You're not doing that. You really want to consider those things. And in that valuation process, the creative process that happens here, that is so unique that nobody can copy, that only can be copied as the end result, the product, and then it's not even always that good. You really want to take in consideration about that, you know. And here's the thing: we are being put into in a position, and when I say we, I'm talking about creative people. We are most of the time we are put in this position where it's either take it or leave it. Either take this price or leave it. Either take this opportunity or leave it. Either take this shout out or leave it. Either take this collaboration or leave it. Either take this promotion or leave it. Because in a lot of occasions we are settling for less. So it's easy for people that hire us or buy from us or um, commission us for our work to make those demands and to pay us out less than what we deserve. So here's the question that I want to ask you into that, right? So after the question of knowing whether whether you know that your work is valuable and how you are adding value, putting in value, and how unique that value aspect is, are you also willing to stand by that particular value aspect that you have? Are you willing to stand by that? Are you willing to say, this is what I have? You'd either take it or leave it. And it's hard, right? I understand. It's hard because it is literally the decision that you have to make by paying your bills, your rent, your um, just living a life, period. Just living a life, period, and having a paycheck, having money, funds to fund your artistry even further. It's that it's a hard decision. So that's why I say when the people that come to this platform, to this channel, and I don't have many followers at this moment, but I do know that the followers that are on this platform are people that are looking at me and are having that question for themselves. Are people that are on this platform and saying, yes, I am indeed professionalizing my own artistry and I want to know and see how someone else is doing that so I can get that information. I have been dealing with those type of questions of, you know, am I going to be mediocre or am I going to step it up to the next level? And you have to thug it out. You have to thug it out. I think for me, and that's my personal choice in that, if that when that means that I have to take a part-time job to support the head funds so that I can stand by the means and my principles and my running of my business of how I want it to see. And I'm not, I don't have to struggle about that. I don't have to ask questions about that or compromise myself in a certain way by taking on jobs that I'm like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. I think I would do that more. I think I definitely would do that. There's no question about that. That's the type of person that I am. But then again, I also understand what my goal is. I also understand where the directory um, of my career is, where it is going to, where it's heading towards, right? And what I have to do now, how I have to focus now on doing that, what steps I need to make to keep that value exactly where I want it to be and allow it to grow from that moment on. Because you do not want to put yourself into a position where you are placed at a certain value and then when you have to make a decision to up your value and then also to kind of shake away the bad apples out of the basket so that you have a good basket of apples that are juicy and valuable and they really add to your business, that you are shooting yourself in the foot. You don't want to. You don't want to on the long run. Definitely not. So yeah, that's something that I hope I can give to you all to think about. And it is definitely something that is ingrained in me. I want to have that. I think that is also the reason why I'm not per se a YouTube artist. Not to say that I don't like creating art just for the art and sharing that with you all, and um, creating art that doesn't necessarily have to be sold, but just creating fun art, which I did in the beginning of this platform. I don't consider myself to be in that category because that is just not the journey that I see for myself. It is not the place where I see myself heading towards. It's not the place where I see myself resting in. Not really. Um, so that's why, for instance, I don't consider myself to be a YouTube painter or wanting to focus on that. I definitely, I say the whole time, I'm a professional artist, and I develop my business also in such a way. And I also want to have those encounterments, collaborations, and um, events around that. And that's really, really crystal clear to me. So for that, I also have to put down a certain value that says that is what it is. That is what connects to my mission, my goal. Now for you, maybe you're already a professional, maybe you're already or you're in the process of professionalizing that. That is always a motivating factor for yourself. Am I where I need to be? And why am I not there? Because here's another part of it. It now comes to me. What are your beliefs about your value? What are your beliefs about your value? Do you believe that you are worth it? Or do you believe I cannot ask that because I don't consider myself to be worth it? Because then it's your issue. Do you consider yourself comfortable asking the price that you want to ask? Or do you feel that you are being an imposter, or you cannot ask that because you're not at the level, or maybe at seniority, or your name is not as big as the one in the pub? Squash that, because then it's a you problem. Then it's not, I cannot ask that because people don't want to pay it. No, it's based on value. It's based on belief. It's based on the belief that you have. And I also had to be really honest about that, because I had certain beliefs that were like, what? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense why I do the things that I do, and I pick what I pick, and I get what I get. It's your belief. You can want whatever it is that you want, but if the underlying belief, that subconscious belief, is saying that you are not worthy of getting what it is that you want to get, that's the result. So, what are your beliefs in that, and how are you going to figure out and see if those beliefs are true, if they're valid, if they're supporting, or they're actually being an obstacle? They are a huge obstruction. They are an obstruction on the road, huge obstruction to what you do. So yeah, have that in mind, and that's something that I just want to leave with you. Like I already said, I'm not here to come and advise you on anything. There's so much content out there on advising. I love to share that information, that question. Hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? How is that working for you? Here is how it worked for me. Here is what it led to for me. So that is the thing that I just wanted to leave you all with. Yeah. Um, that's it. That's all. That's the thing that I wanted to share. Comment below with your questions, with your remarks. Even if you just want to say hi, I will say hi back. I will say hi back, people. Follow me on this particular platform. Share the information, share the content. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Like I already said, I made a group on my Facebook page, Collector Circle at MCA Studio, for people that are already in the process or starting to think about wanting to invest in art. So if you are now looking at this you're looking at this video and you're considering that, and you already visited my website and you're like, oh my gosh, I like that art, but I want to hear her talk more about the whole technical aspect of it, and how is it with pricing, and how do I get to your art, and you know all the other things, and that is the group that you need to be in. That is the group, and it's two lives a week. I don't have set dates on days yet because again, I'm still figuring out which day is the best day, what time is the best time. So we still have to figure it out, but it's at least two times in a week, and you can get over there. Anyways, people, have a good one. I'm gonna make myself a smoothie, a nice, creamy, juicy, cold, refreshing smoothie. I'm going to tell you to be safe, you know, take your time in your process, be clear, be conscious. There is this other YouTube channel that I'm a subscriber to. And I think it's Craig the Writer, Craig the Writer, and his full name is Craig the Writer Stewart. And he mentions this thing. Let me see. Communication is our partner, clarity is our friend. I love that. So I'm gonna use that, but I'm gonna give credits to him. Every time I'm saying that, I'm gonna give credits to him. Communication is our partner, clarity is our friend by Craig the Writer. So Craig the Writer, if you are watching this channel, I absolutely love your channel. I'm gonna take that. And that is also something that I find so important for your own journey, on your own creative journey, is that when you are able to communicate what it is that you want, what you want to see for yourself, and how you can live your life as a creative, because we can. The world needs creatives. Um, and you can do that, then it becomes clear. You can live a clearer life. You breathe easier. You communicate with people also easier. It's also clear and easy. It's just simple like that. So yeah, I'm gonna credits to him. Every time I'm using that, I'm crediting him, as it should be. Anyways, have a good day. I will see you soon. I don't think it's gonna be this week. I think and the next live is gonna be next week. Um, because I do have to work on my project. I have to finish that and I have to get ready for the coming exhibition. Did I tell you already that? No, I think so. My next exhibition that will be coming in September. So I have to attend meetings. I have to finish my work. And I definitely will talk about that too. No worries about that. I will show my content about that too. Like, subscribe, share. If you want to donate and help this platform so I can create, different types of content, invite other people to talk here, equipment, right? Better equipment, more clear equipment, play with other thoughtful ideas. Please donate. Every dollar, every euro, or any other currency will help and will get into this particular platform. In the description box, I've put the link. Copy the link, place it in your browser. You will get to the page and you can donate to this page. Um, I also have a podcast. So for those that like to listen, are not always capable of, getting to the YouTube content, because to be honest, sometimes I'm also just listening, but I also just want to sit and watch because it is content. It is something that I really would like to be amused by. You can also listen to my podcast. There I discuss totally other things. So each platform has different things. I'm a very multifaceted woman. So each platform has different subjects and things. No platform, and that's the thing, I do not want any of those platforms to have the same type of content. It might be similar, but it's not the same. And I'm really working myself towards that, to offer you all different things, because no one wants the same thing at any of those platforms. Let's be honest. So I'm really working myself up to that. So if you want to know more about that, just comment here below. That's it. That's all. And I'm going to see you next time. Like, subscribe, share, support this channel. Don't just watch and lurk. Subscribe, like, and share. See you soon. Be blessed.